What's a roster?
Or not the roster, the bracket.
Oh, it's on Facebook, the bracket. I need a... Okay.
So it's like a 2. My phone's dead, I forgot.
Okay.
Handguns. The trolls. Right?
Yep. Seriously, they always get banned.
Yeah, I know. We talked about this.
Oh, it's forgot to put a winner. Enter. No. No spectators, no money.
Do you want Yoko on too? Yeah, I'm not Yoko, but I will leave.
That was apparently pretty funny.
I guess. Here,
I don't know why I have Jurassic Park in my head today.
Yeah, why do you?
I don't know, but it's gonna get in your head. Are you? You're gonna criticize him the whole time. He's gonna punch you in the face.
Who are we criticizing?
No, we're not. Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead and waterbend that stuff.
What?
He just said he's water bending. When he shoots the little blue orb.
Oh.
That looks like water.
Water
Nice.
bending.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, the archer dude he was fighting earlier that like shot up walls of earth, all I could think of was earth bending.
I can't join anymore.
You should be able to now. If you refresh it, it should be able to join because Hash was on spectator so that he could switch around their order.
Oh. And
Select it.
passwords don't match.
ULB?
Yeah, I did that.
That's what I put in.
ULB. There.
What? Caps lock was on?
That was no. I typed it wrong, I guess. I can't believe we were here until midnight for the last one.
Last time I was like shocked that we finished and we're out by 12.
We wouldn't have had one more game gone though.
What? Lies. This is not going to happen again.
Dude, I can't believe that. Freaking branded.
Yeah.
Made it work. That's incredible.
It was like the only team that it could have worked against, though.
Yep.
I mean,
First, Corky coming out as a first ban. Actually, a really good ban. Captain Dunk played a really good Corky earlier today against them. He started 8-0. So
coming back with a Mordekaiser ban against Simon Bestio.
We're gonna see. These teams played what, an hour and a half ago was all.
Yeah, I think so.
They're definitely gonna have some hate bans coming out.
Banning Ari and then Shen. I think they watched, or they just lost to the Shen. Completely carried the last game. Was involved in like 22 out of 26 kills for their team.
Holy
absolutely ridiculous. Had 15,000 gold at the end of the game. 10 kills.
Was he in the jungle or top lane?
Top lane.
Top lane.
Hashishin was playing him. Hashishin Shen, quite ridiculous that time.
Hashishin playing really well today.
Yeah. Looks like the Lee Sin and Jax finishing out as those bans. They don't want to see Hashishin's Jax either, and they know Death's Lee Sin is pretty strong. Funky Child picking up Nautilus for the jungle. Really strong champion. I've talked about it before. I think he's been picked in all the games that I've casted today. He's just too good.
He is getting that crowd control is just so strong on him, and if you land that anchor,
Yep.
you're basically dead. If that anchor is landed
you pick
on
someone, and the fact that he can use it to jump around the map too, really, really good.
Yep, good mobility, which is funny because he walks really slow, but because of that anchor, he can just move around really quickly.
It's really funny watching people that don't know him as well, though. They try and use anchor over a wall and then just
they just
hit the wall.
Oh, we're gonna see a Skarner.
Getting
I have
locked.
not seen him today.
Used to be really popular. Lost out for a while in favor of more gank-heavy junglers and some of the support junglers like Nautilus. Blitz getting locked in too. So both teams have pulls. Purple, a really strong catch team already. Probably guessing for that Vayne. Skarner can run in an ult Vayne and then
Blitz
can
pulls.
pull her, knock her up. They can just have their way with her, which sounds really terrible in a video game.
Yeah, it does. But
that Ali Janet or Ali Vayne combo coming out.
That's a lot of crowd control if she can land that condemn against the wall. And then that headbutt pulverize. I mean, you can't move. What's that? Like 3-4 seconds. You're just stuck there.
A lot of lockdown.
And you can do a lot of damage. And then we'll see Ez going up against Vayne. I'm assuming he will play in that bottom lane. We haven't seen an AP Ez today. Weren't you saying...
I debated taking AP Ezreal earlier, but...
I think I saw on your status that something about AP Ez.
He is very underrated. Looks like they want to take the Fizz to try and counter that Vlad pick that they know is coming. They left Vlad open, and Licensed Pwnstar plays an amazing Vlad.
Yes, he does.
Going for the same super carry comp that they had earlier.
Yeah, with that double bruiser combination.
Yeah, the Vayne and Vlad both scale really hard into late game, and if you can survive to late game with the mid game CC of Nautilus and Alistar, and the mid game dominance of Renekton. I mean, Renekton has very few bad matchups up top. He's a very safe pick when you don't know who you're facing, because he can sustain against most people, he can kill a ton of people. And his ult is actually really effective against Fizz because it's healing that can't be countered. So a lot of those heals like Ignite or Fizz's W debuff doesn't affect the healing he gains from his ultimate or like from Lulu's ultimate. Life of the Funeral picking his top lane, trying to see who he wants to take against Renekton.
And that is, I would say that's a really tough choice because Renekton is so strong. I mean, he has that insane burst with a stun that's just so hard. I mean, Riven kind of the same, but I wouldn't say that they counter each other.
They don't counter each other. Renekton Riven is one of my favorite matchups as Renekton. When Riven stuns to try and get her combo in, and Poppy.
Is that for real?
I'll be honest, that's surprising because.
But she'll be able to withstand that burst so easily with that passive.
Well, that passive only really activates well once she's gotten down a bit. Renekton's W is all 1 instance of damage, so that'll be heavily affected by it. But Poppy is so weak in lane, and Renekton is so strong in lane that I honestly think it's not going to be that big of a problem. He'll just be able to walk up and Q at will, push the lane, keep her from getting that farm in those last hits, force her to use mana to do it. Also, Renekton's pretty strong against Skarner when Skarner's trying to gank. He can, if he's pushed and Skarner comes in from behind him, he can just double dash and get out of there almost for free. Skarner does have that perm flow, but really hard for him to land it against Renekton.
Yeah, because the hitbox on it is not very big.
Yeah.
You have to be super close.
Especially if he doesn't get the slow activated immediately against Renekton, Renekton will get away before he can use his Q a second time for that to activate that slow. And looks like two of our players' parents are here actually. But I was just saying earlier about AP Ezreal, really underrated, kind of weak mid game because of his dual scaling. He has physical damage on his Q and magic damage on his other abilities, but late game he has absolutely incredible burst, absolutely incredible AoE damage, and he still brings some utility with his W debuff. Really effective against bruisers and the enemy AD carry. but his ratios and his ability to put a Lich Bane on Q to give himself basically a bonus AP ratio on an ability, ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
Really hard to pull off because he relies entirely on skill shots. And a lot of mid players don't like damage that isn't for sure, which is why you see so many popular, Ryze is really popular, Vlad is really popular. They have more guaranteed damage. You're gonna land your Q because you can't miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, a little less skill cap on those than like your Cassiopeia and your Kennen, which we haven't seen Kennen at all today. One of your favorite champs.
I was going to play Kennen. They banned him out from me.
Which is on purpose, obviously.
Yeah, they banned it on purpose. They also banned Rumble against me, which is kind of funny because I'm never going to play Rumble mid.
Right.
But Rumble is one of my favorite champions. He's really, really strong, both in lane and late game.
Yeah,
not so much in terms of damage late game, but in his utility. Once you get a Riley, you can just slow the crap out of the enemy team. He works really well as a counter initiator. So when the enemy team tries, pulling in with the Shurelya's, or they have a Skarner and a Blitz trying to get in on you, you drop that ult, you back off, they get super slow, they take a bunch of damage, they waste some of their cooldowns on important abilities, and you can just go back in while that stuff's still on cooldown and pick them apart.
Yeah. I am actually really excited for this game. Haven't seen a Poppy in a competitive game in a really long time, so that'll be interesting to see how Renekton handles
so
that.
I'm checking out Renekton's runes. He's got move speed Quince, which is going to be very useful against the ganks. He's got flat armor, flat magic resist, and some armor penetration, which Renekton's one of my favorite top laners as well. I take 2 rune pages on him, one with flat AD and flat armor, and one with flat AD and flat magic resist.
Right.
Really, really strong bully pages. He scales so well off of AD, especially early. You can just chunk people super hard. And Poppy, he won't be able to chunk her quite as well, and she does gain some armor from her W the more she attacks.
Right. Yeah, so that top lane I think will be really interesting.
I think it will too.
To watch. Because you don't see a lot of Poppies, so you don't have a lot of practice. Are you looking at Life at the Funeral?
Life at the Funeral has picked an entire armor page. He has 8.5 physical damage on his marks. Then everything else is flat armor. He has 32 armor at level 1 versus Renekton.
That's a game changer in itself.
I mean, Renekton has armor pen, but that's not going to go through. Poppy's going to start the game. She might go cloth 5 as well. She could start the game with 70 or 80 armor.
Well, we'll find out here in a couple seconds, actually, as the loading screen is up. Those loads are really quick here at our location at Newmont, as they have a wonderful internet access this time, opposed to last time where we had some issues. But that's because there was another LAN party going on at the same time. So
ooh, yeah, that would definitely cut down on your ability.
So yeah, we have basically the whole building is ours right now. And we are in game. Champions will start to pick their items here real soon. A lot of boots coming out, of course. Poppy did go boots, so she didn't go with the armor. And Skarner going to start with that regrowth pendant. Everybody else pretty much the same. Even Blitz going with boots early, which is a little rare for supports, but we do see that once in a while. So we will have, here on the blue team, we have, that is Bald and Deaf. They only need to win 2 games, and BSU has to win 4 games in order to...
really tough for them to be able to pull off.
To take the championship. So they are coming from the losers bracket. They will be on the purple side or red side, depending on if you're on colorblind mode or not.
Yeah.
And looks like both teams not wanting to invade too hard yet. We have seen invades by both of these teams in their games earlier. First Blood coming in one of their games to an invade.
I think a big part of that is Nautilus and Skarner are both pretty blue reliant for their first clear. Also, one team has Blitz, the other team has Alistar. it's just going to be a giant.
It would
you know,
just be almost trading blows more
complete
than
luck.
anything.
Like,
Yeah.
If Blitz pulls Alistar into his team and Alistar gets a Q off, then Balls and Death will be able to get a first blood off that. And if Blitz pulls someone else, they'll get first blood off that. It's just too much to chance. Rather, they're much more comfortable just leaving it for the laning phase.
Yeah.
Just waiting to outplay.
Which is what
So-
both teams are going to do. They're just going to, pick up the wolves and then move on to blue.
Poppy has done a very popular top laner pick, especially on purple side, since you can't be in position to leash the blue. You can go back for an extra potion early, and Poppy is starting with boots and 4 potions, and starting with Paragon of Demacia. She has 60 armor at level 1 against this Renekton.
And doesn't that, when she activates that Paragon, doesn't it increase her armor as well?
Yeah, she can gain 15 armor by activating that, putting her up to 75 armor just at level 1. Completely ridiculous.
I need to listen.
Alright, so mid lane, looks like we're taking a look. Ziggs is a little ways down, but nothing to be too worried about here early on, as both players are hitting level 2. But yeah, this level, even the direct camera knows that top lane's going to be interesting. Keeps switching to it.
Yeah.
Show us what's going on up there. Bottom lane just all doing their thing, farming away. Not a lot of exchange. Looks like Blitz keeps coming out every once in a while. He has been landing some really good grabs as of late.
Yeah,
So-
some of the previous games, Blitz definitely good ban against them. He very experienced on Blitz, really landing some clutch pulls earlier, taking out very important targets. Top lane, I think this is going to go in Renekton's favor early because Renekton has a lot of sustain and the ability to stun. And there, exactly what I said would happen. Renekton can just double dash, get away from Skarner immediately. Although Skarner looks like he's staying around, there's still 10 more seconds on